All right, I am back with Chris Stege out of Austin, Texas. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good.
Beautiful
So
day.
you're going to teach us how to do an open house on steroids. Is that right?
Open house experience. It's an event. It's thinking bigger. Yeah. Yep. I can't wait. This is going to be the Cliff Notes version. So
Okay.
folks are welcome to reach out to me and have a conversation with me. I'm happy to share and
Do you
give.
do a class or anything on it?
I have, you betcha. We have pre-COVID. This was kind of our thing, and
Yeah.
many new agents that come on board with us, and
Yeah.
even well-seasoned agents, they pick up on some things that they may have not discovered yet. So yeah,
Cool. I'm
yeah,
excited. Okay, so let me share my screen. Oh, you want to see the Hamilton County auditor page here? No, let's see.
love it.
And then give you the remote. Okay, you should have control. Show us your stuff.
Boom, look at that. All right, well, good stuff. Well, guys, so this is an open house experience. One of the things, open house event, too many agents, get into the rut of just putting a sign or two out in a yard or just on the
Right,
street up to the house,
right.
and then they've got a couple of flyers that they print up, and voila, we've got an open house. And so the key here is to think, be, and do different. That's the key. If
I
we're
love
going
it.
along with the flow, what everybody else is doing, we're contributing to the average. And
Yeah.
so we want to think bigger, want to do bigger. And Jennifer, you're welcome to interrupt me anytime if you got maybe a couple of things you want to ask me.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
this won't take long. And as I mentioned, there'll maybe a little bit more of an in-depth question or some things like that that folks might want to reach out to me and ask on. And
Yeah.
and the most important thing is you want to have fun with this.
Well, I
These
think
are
if you're going to do it, you should maximize it, right?
exactly right. These
Yeah.
are what you would call income producing activities,
Yeah.
IPAs. And
Yeah.
so when I first got into the business, I had pulled a broker friend of mine, and we had lunch. And I asked him, I said, we've got to make net this amount per year. And
Okay.
and so I said, what's one or two things that you could share with me that agents aren't doing enough of, but if they did do, it would produce a greater result? Or, what is that thing? And I just love in
That's a
person.
really good question.
Hmm.
Especially
Yeah.
like ask yourself as you feel like you've reached a certain level, it's
Mhm.
like, okay, what is something that people above me do at such a high level that like I'm not doing that if I did that I could be bumped into their level.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That number for me was 100,000 net. Like
Okay.
without having to sell our house or exchange cars or change a huge lifestyle. I wanted to come into, after owning a company, selling it. $100,000 a year at that time
Mm-hmm.
was good enough for us to not have to change our current lifestyle and keep going and keep building. And so I said, what do I have to do? What would you recommend? What could you tell me to do more of? And
Right.
I'm just going to become a master at it and just get better at it. And
Right.
so he told me, and I'll share this with you, what he shared with me here in a second, but I wanted to set the stage for this. I want y'all to look at this quote. This is key. This is key in any industry that you're in, but
Mm-hmm.
you can look at
Can move it
entrepreneurs and
back.
exchange it
Oh,
with,
did I
it's
move it?
okay. No, yep, move it back to one slide.
Did I go back too far?
See if you can go back. I think if you go back, there we go.
There we go.
We're going,
Present. All right.
there we go.
There we
Perfect.
go.
Okay. Average companies will compare themselves with other companies. So will average entrepreneurs.
Mm,
Extraordinary achievers compare themselves with their potential.
I love it.
So what you want to do is you want to not contribute. You don't want to go along with what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Because you're just average at best.
Yeah.
You want to think beyond the box. And
Yeah.
so what we've done is we've created an open house experience, and I can give some very specifics, maybe not time today, but I can give you some specifics on some things that we've done, and we've had just fun with it. We
Mm-hmm.
went out the first few times, and it just we got better at it each time. And so the key here is to do it repeatedly over and over and over and over again, and just get better at it. And so
and every time just like learning and tweaking until you get it to where it's like, this is good.
You always want to be a student. You always want to listen, ask great questions, and just get better at your craft. And so this system works. And if you can move I'm trying to click here to go to the next screen. There we are. Okay, so the open house experience. How many, how often, where and when. High traffic location is key. Price point is key. Mm-hmm. What to provide while there, how many signs. Do we invite the neighbors? List of other available nearby homes. Know the market and develops, which is key.
Yep.
To build riches, to work in niches, and partner up. These are key. You want to have people that you know, like, and trust that can work on your behalf. And so we can talk about the vendors, those that are real estate centric professionals near us that can help sponsor or even help be at the event and support your efforts. And so, but most importantly, you want to be the source. So if you don't get anything out of this presentation, I want you to hear this. One open house a week for your first 12 months or per 12 months will equal 12 transactions in your first year or per year.
Wow.
This was the broker's response to me. And so if, an average sales price at the time in Austin was about $300,000. And so I thought, okay, if I could do one open house a week for 52 weeks out of the year or more, this would equal what I needed to accomplish.
Right.
And so what I did is most people will say, go with your sphere, go in with your sphere. My sphere of influence was a bonus. Open houses were my go-to. Mm-hmm. And so what that equaled to was I accomplished more. My net income, my first year in business was $100,000.
Great.
And all of it, with the exception of one deal, was from open house generated sales.
Right. So, that's great.
Isn't that cool? So what we're going to do here is I want to answer the question, how many and how often?
Okay.
Click here. If you can click on the next slide. How many and how often? One open house per week will result in 12 transactions annually. Could you do more than one?
Yeah.
Back-to-back open houses. So one of the best things that I did was on Tuesday, I would have an open house Tuesday evening in an urban part of Austin. Most do it on Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
So I do it on Tuesday evening when people are coming home from the workday. And then what I would do is I would search the MLS, and I would find another nearby home with maybe a bigger kitchen, maybe it's a bigger backyard, a 3-car garage versus a 2-car garage. And what I would do is I would promote the next open house on Thursday. Hey, this kitchen may not be the right size, the backyard may not be big enough for your kiddos. I've got another one on Thursday. I'd love to have you come by. And
so that would have to be your listing too.
So I would actually work against the grain. I would actually find and I would develop relationships with other boutique firms in the area. Mm-hmm. And I would ask them to, hey, could I, would your sellers be opposed to me running an open house?
Okay.
And so you can welcome to reach out to me, and we can talk about days in the market and how do you go about working that conversation. But it actually ended up being a great thing for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Relationships, because when you have multiple offers, they know you, they understand you. There's a relationship there, and it helped greatly. So I would do more than one per week. And it was great. So the open house experience is where and when and high traffic location, the path of least resistance. This is key. You don't want to do an open house in the back of a subdivision where there's 13 turns at the end of a cul-de-sac.
Okay.
It's easy to get to. It's down a main street, hang a right, second, house on your right, or seventh house on your left.
Okay.
I would like to work school zones. And so you would do a 2:30 to 4:30 open house. Mm-hmm. Your school zones that are, easy to get to, where you can put up a lot of signage. And I would work in midweek, lunchtime, or evenings when everybody else is not doing it. And I said, it's going against the grain of what others are doing. So what I
Right.
would do is I would do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday open houses,
Hmm.
but then I would be freed up Saturday and Sunday
Right.
to show.
Right.
And, and,
Exactly.
and you have no competition during the week because nobody else was doing open houses during
Right.
the week.
And you probably don't have as many people just like looky-loos because it's not like an event. You know what I mean? Like on a Saturday or Sunday, it's more like an outing, like something to do.
Yep. I was capturing the people that were in traffic coming home from work,
Hmm.
those that were curious. That was key. You want to look at new developments, new construction areas where people are just curious of, man, I've seen that house go up and I see a lot of stuff in the area. I'm going to pull over and just kind of go in, and they may
Yeah.
not be even looking at the time,
Right.
but it's a relationship. And what's key is you're only always looking for one. I don't want
Yeah.
20. I want to
Yeah.
find that one qualified person that I could develop a relationship with and help
Right.
with their
Exactly.
purchase. Yeah. So this is what's key: price point. You don't want to work with, you can, but I found that between 4 and 750 is kind of that good price point. We know that those commissions are much greater than the ones that are near $200,000 and $300,000. You're
But in
working with
Austin, is that more of like it
the
looks
median.
like it's not a first time home buyer. It's more of like but it's something that's like affordable.
Jennifer, it's actually changed. It's funny that first-time home buyers now are getting approved for these numbers. And
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when 200,000 was big,
Yeah.
and so what you want to work smarter. You want to work in an area where folks have been through this process before. This is their second, third
Hmm.
home,
Hmm.
um, and less transactions. And once again, they're going to send you referrals that are going to be in a
Right.
similar price point. And so
That makes
you just want to
sense.
you would want to look at your own
I just
market.
didn't know if that needed to be adjusted at all, get with whatever market you're in.
It can be, which, yeah, you want to, what's key is, and it could be 1 million plus in some metropolitan areas. It could be
Right.
200 in some metropolitan areas,
Hmm.
in other areas. But what you want to do is you want to work in an area where this is familiar to people. They've been through, we've all worked with first time home buyers, and there's a great specialty there.
Hmm.
But having been in this business and wanting to kind of develop your more of a niche, you want to work with buyers and sellers that this is their second and third time
Right.
homes, where you're not having to
Handhold as much.
handheld. There you go. It's a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
word.
It's a better return on investment for
There
sure.
you go. Yeah.
Okay.
So what to provide? I can tell you, we could stop on the slide and talk for several hours, but there's been times where I would actually have a food truck pulled up, and we would partner with a lender, and they would have people come and actually have food, and you'd come
Okay.
into the open house, and it was fun. I work now specifically golf course communities, and so I make it fun. You want to
Yeah.
have a map of the specific area. People come in, what's your familiarity with this
Right.
area? How long
Right.
have you been looking? Some of these things, ask great questions. School info, new development,
Hmm.
comparables, the
Hmm.
about you section, list of trusted providers. You want to be the source. A lot of these folks in Austin and other metropolitan areas, they're coming into these cities not knowing anyone or not
Hmm.
knowing anything about the
Hmm.
community, and you want to be the
Hmm.
go-to person.
And then
And
what I'm
so
seeing here, what I'm taking away from this is more like an event. It's not just like I'm going to do an open house. Like there's a plan here, and you got to get people to it, which I imagine you're going to be talking about next.
there's a plan to, yeah. So area restaurants. So you want to find,
Hmm.
there's a great urban area here in Austin where you want to go into restaurants, and you want to see if they have coupons, or you want to see if they
Hmm.
have specials or things like that you can promote them to
Hmm.
these potential
New
buyers.
people, right?
Yeah. And so you want to find these partnerships, calendar of local events,
Hmm.
um, seller and buyer packages. I love to do appetizers and beverages, and then memorable walk away items. I made this in bold. How will you be remembered? There's 18,000 agents in Austin Board of Realtors here, and
Jeez.
so there's a lot. And so you want to provide an experience for them. You want to give them something that's specific to you, and you want to provide that to them, So that when they walk out of there, they're thinking of your name. They're thinking there's something special about this guy. And
Okay.
so think through that. And we can talk about that more in depth at
Sure.
a later time. 40 directional signs.
40.
So once
I
again,
thought it was easy to get to, Chris.
guys, I'll tell you. So 40 signs. So I like to cluster. I like to go crazy. And branded signs. Use your branded signs. So your name, your brand, your brokerage, and your phone number. Keep it simple.
Okay.
But you want to dominate the area and be top of mind. Cluster. Put 5 or 6 together. Make it fun. And at the home, I've got a sky puppet. I've got a sky puppet that blows 30 feet up in the air. And it's funny. But once again, guys, we're thinking far beyond the box here. And
it's an event.
Several people will walk in and go, I like your style. If I was to sell a house, I'd want to hire you,
Right.
And so easy to get to or hard to get to, you really want to just put out signs, and it's going to take some time before people really see your face.
Right. But that's why you're doing it like once a week for the year, because then they'll get used to you. And especially if you work in like a smaller area too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right. The fortune is in the follow-up. This is key. Find a way to capture the names of those who attend the open house and develop a follow-up system. Whether you work Saturday, Sunday open houses and you want to have a follow-up system on that Monday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you want to have a follow-up system on the day prior. Keep it fresh. You got to have that. You can develop a system. A system is key. Learn and remember their names. This is what's key. Call them out by names. If you want to go even further, learn their kids' names. Call them out by name. What are their hobbies and likes? You can
don't be like creepy though, and just like stalk until you find the kids' names. Like maybe.
Yeah.
Only if they tell you.
Yeah, these are questions that you can. Yeah, absolutely. These are questions that you can ask at the open house. What brings you to the area? How familiar you are with the area? Are your kids in school here in the area? Do they private school? Do they public school?
Right.
Things like that. You can find out their names, but what are their hobbies and likes?
Right.
Find out what is valuable to them. That's what's most important. You want to serve them, and this is key. This will help you as an agent know who to work with and who not to work with. Is when you ask the question, what is their time frame and motivation? If they're a year out, just put them in a drip.
Yeah.
But if I've got to find a house next 45 days,
that's
and
different.
They've got a job that they moved here for, or they've been through a life change, or they've whatever it may be. That's their motivation.
Yeah, then set the appointment.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So this is a great quote. And I want you to hear this. You become a distinct and unequaled brand when every part of your business is delivered in a package of genuine care, personal concern, and honest connection.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
There's something about connecting with somebody and not just doing the whole, hey, how's the weather? How you doing? Things like that. Get specific, ask questions, connect with people, and be honest, and have that honest connection.
Yeah.
Have a genuine care, and that's going to be your thing. That's going to be what we call your greater value. That's what's going to separate you apart from all the others. So
I like it.
That's a quick. There's a lot.
There's so much more I can tell. Yeah.
There's so much there, but it works. It works every single time. A lot of agents say, well, the open houses work. And the question is, well, will you work the open houses?
Right. Exactly. Work. If you do it right. But that's like everything, right? Like if you're going to do mailers, you can't just do one and be like, well, it didn't work. You have to do them, what is the period of time you have to do them? What is the frequency? What is all this? And this is the same with an open house. If you're going to do open house as a lead generating source, what is the amount of time that you need to do? What is the frequency? How do they need to be? Like that's everything. If you're going to cold call, like how often do you need it? Like every lead source is like that. That's why really, I suggest to people to only have like 2 or 3. How many are you suggesting?
Yeah, one or two. Become a master at it. Whatever that may be, but it's got to be an income producing activity. It can't just be activity. You've got to go. Is it productive?
Right.
And if I do this consistently each week or every day over an extended period of time, it's going to produce fruit and a lot of it.
Right.
And I can tell you, I did 53 open houses my first year. The next year I did about the same.
Wow.
But it was fun. I would take my laptop, and if nobody came in, I would work, I would study, I would just, you know, I would take in information. And but you got to prep, you got to have the next one scheduled after that one that you just did. So you want to keep it always
Keep it going.
keep it going, and find your thing. Find your thing. I just work better face to face with people. I can convert. I can find buyers and sellers. A lot of the times people think that you're doing open houses to find buyers. Well,
There's a ton of sellers that come to open
ton of
houses.
sellers, and so you want to, you know, you want to think differently, and that's what you want to do differently, and it works. I have fun with it. Agents that come on with us and do the same thing and develop their own,
They like it.
you know,
Yeah.
they like
If you're
it.
like
So
that type of person, like that, this is a great way to do it. I also, are they, can we share the slides? Is that okay?
you bet you can.
Okay, so we, along with those slides, there's also a list of like how to drive traffic to it too that I have that I'll add to it, which, and they can find it at jennifermertlin.com/vault. But Chris, if people have a referral for you in Texas, or they want to find out more about maybe joining your team and your group, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can email me or you can call me, Chris at austinpropertiesnow.com, Chris at austinpropertiesnow.com. And, or you can reach out to me. I'm happy to give my phone number, 512-709-1230. Let everyone know. So I know this is going to go on the internet, and that's okay. I love it. One of the best things I love to do now is just show what we've done, and just help agents grow and build out.
I mean, that's what it's
A
about.
business. That's it. Helping others.
I love it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you being on. Thank you so much. That was cool. And then, keep us posted on when the next class is too. We can talk, we can advertise that.
You bet,
Awesome.
Jennifer. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Chris.
All right.